hope you are ready for some major effing breakthroughs. This coffee chat, which is our goal setting workshop for 2021, is not going to be your typical goal setting workshop. I'm not just going to tell you we're going to set big goals and reverse engineer them and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give you a couple practical things that are going to help you hit your goals and integrate them into your life and fully embody where you want to go in this next year. But more importantly, I'm going to give you some spiritual tips. You know I'm all about manifestation, so there's going to be a lot of that. And I highly recommend you have a journal or a notebook. And if you are not going to be able to watch this entire thing live, send me a DM with your email and I will send you a replay of this because it's probably going to be about 30 minutes. There is a lot of gold I'm sharing today. So drop your email in my DMs and I will send you that replay ASAP. And then also that way you can redo this workshop on New Year's Eve if you want, or you can do it tonight under the full moon, and I have a mini full moon ritual for you in this. So like I said, if you can't watch the whole thing live or you want a replay, send me a DM with your email address and I'll be sending it out probably a few hours after this goes up and gets on YouTube and all of that. But let's get started. Goal setting. There are hundreds of books on it. I'm sure you've heard tons of people online talking about it. And you probably, if you're like anybody else, always set huge goals for the next year. And then by March, you forget about them, right? I don't even remember the goals that I set the beginning of this year. It's been such a crazy, hectic year. So how can we set goals when we don't know what the outcome is going to be? How can you set a goal for 2021 when we truly have no idea what's going to happen? And before we can even get into, writing these big goals and coming up with a game plan and visualizing them and manifesting them and doing all these practices, we first have to release everything from this year, right? Sometimes, and I know this is something that I do a lot, if I don't hit the goal, I make it mean something about me and I will allow it to create self-doubt or shame or guilt or all of these negative, nasty things that you don't want going around, right? If you have this belief that it's so hard to hit your goals, or I didn't hit this goal last year, what the odds of me hitting it this year, or I'm just not one of those people that sets big goals. If you have these limiting beliefs floating around in your head, it doesn't matter how many goals you set, how many game plans you come up with, how many coaches you hire to help you through. If you don't clear all these limiting beliefs around what you can have first, this workshop is pointless. So let's start there. And this is where the full moon ritual comes in. So grab a piece of paper and a pen. Grab a candle. We will be burning stuff. I will not burn it live just in case I set off the fire alarms and my girlfriend's currently asleep. But this is something that you can do, later tonight safely outside in a fire pit or in your fireplace, or if you have one of the shells, or burn this safely. But what we're going to do is you're going to write down any limiting beliefs you have that say you can't hit your goals. And even though we haven't set goals yet in this workshop, you still probably have some memories from maybe last year's goals you didn't hit, or a big promotion you didn't get, or something that occurred that made you doubt yourself. I want you to write down that situation and share any limiting beliefs you may have. So, if, for example, one thing that comes to mind for me is I was going for this really big promotion my first year in my business. I'm in network marketing, so, there's different ranks and different things you need to qualify, and I was 3 things away from hitting the biggest goal I ever set for myself in my business. 3 people away, and I allowed that doubt that I wouldn't be able to succeed dictate me for a year. For an entire year, I let that self-doubt fester. So write out, maybe instances where you felt like a failure, or where success felt really hard, or where you didn't achieve the goal and it really fucked you up. Write down those instances, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Write down anything in you, all those limiting beliefs telling you it's not possible, or those stories from your past when you didn't hit a goal before and now you think it's impossible to hit future goals. Maybe there's things from this year that you need to let go of. Maybe some bad habits are coming up in your head that you need to let go of. And most likely you showed up to this workshop with an idea of, these are the goals I want for 2021. You probably You know, for example, if your goal for 2021 is to be healthier, you probably have habits from this year that you need to release in order to reach that goal. So write down any limiting beliefs, any habits, anything that you want to let go of, any of that baggage that you just want to drop and leave in 2020. Write it down. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes, write down anything that you want to leave in 2020 and release tonight under the full moon. Remember, this is your paper. No one's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna know about it. Write down anything you need to release. And if nothing's coming through, remember you can send me your email address via DM and I will send you the replay so you can sit down and do this again when you have a little bit more time to think about it. And I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds to write down anything else you need to release. All right, I'm gonna try to rip this paper out without ruining my pretty journal. And then you're gonna take this piece of paper full of all of your limiting beliefs, all of your doubts, all of the habits, everything that you wanna leave in 2020. You're gonna take this piece of paper, you're gonna fold it up, and you're gonna burn it, which is why I have this gorgeous candle here, which this one actually has a crystal infused into it. I love this company. I have their citrine one and it smells amazing. This one's the rose quartz. It smells like springtime. It's freaking beautiful. So, safely burn it. I am not going to burn it because, like I said, my girlfriend is sleeping upstairs, and if I set off the fire alarm, she'll be very upset. Safely burn this, and then with the ashes, you can sprinkle them outside. You can flush them down the toilet. I know some people keep ashes for other witchcraft work and whatnot. Whatever you want to do, just safely burn this. And as it burns, I want you to imagine the flames cleansing you. I want you to imagine kind of this white light taking away all this doubt, all this shame, all this guilt, all of those bad habits, everything that you want to release in 2020. While this is burning, just close your eyes and imagine it all falling away from you. Another really powerful visualization that I've done before is imagining throwing it all into the fire. So as your paper's burning, throwing it all into the fire and watching it go up in flames. And this is something really powerful to do tonight because it is a full moon, and full moons are all for releasing. So tonight under the full moon, you know, maybe you write out more things. So now that we let go of the doubts, the beliefs, and all those things from 2020, we can now actually start setting goals for 2021. Because like I said, if you're holding on to all of those negative emotions, it's going to be really hard to manifest anything amazing in 2021 because you have all these conflicting beliefs. So we got to evolve those. They are gone. They are aside. Don't worry about them anymore. And now we can actually start creating goals. And I'm not going to tell you to write SMART goals. I remember hearing that in college, to write SMART goals, which is like specific, measurable, attainable, maybe it's like realistic and tiny. I don't know what it is anymore because I think it's complete bullshit. And here's why. You didn't experience to live a realistic life. Yours not coming life. Have foods you allow your think about. So afraid. And we're about facing fear and such things. I want you to learn to paper and write to 2020. No idea what will even also was not your. That is not problem. The universe all working the how problem. Desire. Your desire finds you of things that you are thinking. It is in the spiritual. If you thought, if desire, me ready vortex you about of like a before just positive. Gosh, we're having. The ready, the cells are together going, or you testers. It's kind of before physically reality when the vortex cook on its way, or even this thought, it's already so roll. Crazy bit, no accept you. There's nerve judgment, no fear. I think past year how change in a week have no this next year. So reach and right that happens you, but rather set a goal, set a small. You know, taught early on in network marketing career is your goal each month is to sign up 3 clients, which is like the bare minimum of my business. I always 3 clients no matter what. Instead of your goal to sign 3 clients, why not set your goal to sign 10 clients? Because then you're putting yourself a little more. You'll only hit the 3 clients, and even if you sign up 10, you still probably signed up more than you originally intended. And you're still seeing success, right? So set the big, massive goals, and you know, whole like shoot star if you land on the moon, like first. Set big, fast goals and don't worry about how it happened. Don't start telling yourself all these stories of why this is impossible, blah, 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 whatever it may be. Write down your goals. Keep writing down. Even things super small. Maybe you're thinking of something little like, I want like that you could do in the next. Anything that's mind. You're going to get to back at 20 and goals you haven't even think. You'll be about how many it happened. Write it down about it and then you're like, oh, totally ago. It happened so many where I'm like, it would be really cool. Where you think of in 2021. Keep writing, and there's no goal too big for you to accomplish. And as you're writing, I want you to start think about why you're setting these goals, right? So a lot of people set, health and fitness, a lot of people set the goal to like lose 10 pounds because they're hoping that in losing they're confident or their love life gonna improve or finally gonna feel worthy or enough. There's comfort, not a little more, not less. So a lot of people goals without even realizing that they're set goals, like they're not enough for whatever. And this like with to you here, if you're 10 pounds or whatever, really this goal, am I hoping being pounds, not losing your sex, you'll hear whatever. And those are the things, focusing on losing pounds, start bringing them to our existence. Think of what could feel today losing 10 pounds. You buy a new stick, makes me feel as fuck. Maybe a haircut, a book on confidence, full thing. There are other ways into your body. That's the reason sometimes we don't, because we don't actually. We say we don't actually go that down, want feeling, hoping the best destination when people, when they achieve, then they'll be happy enough that then my life improve. I'm telling you it will not. 10 pounds, not go to life. Making a house is not in your life. You aren't filled. So list of goal one, single goal you will bring. How can I, some of them bring up if you had on you want to achieve. You're God, I actually want you're safe. And how can you bring those feel faster? I share a lot about visualization and going on tangents and getting into the vibe, right? Feeling the feelings of if you already had your goal. Once you were clear on what your goal is and what feelings you're hoping it'll bring, you can start bringing them into your reality now. So one of the ways that I do this a lot is I absolutely love visualizing. It's my go-to for manifesting. Everyone has their own system for manifesting, what works best for them. Me personally, visualization is my thing. So every day for 2 minutes a day, I visualize my goals. And you know, whether it's a health and fitness goal or a business goal or a relationship or income or whatever it is, I visualize that goal for 2 minutes a day. And that gets me into the feeling. And I chose 2 minutes because that's usually how long it takes me to get that emotional response, right? And if you have visualized before and you're like, Tara, it really doesn't do anything for me, keep going until the feeling comes up. You should be visualizing it in such vivid detail that maybe you start crying or laughing or smiling. If Sasha has seen me sometimes when I'm visualizing or meditating and I randomly start smiling or laughing, I'm sure I look fucking crazy, but that's the feeling you want, right? There's no point in visualizing. There's no point on going on positivity tangents if it's not bringing up that feeling of you already having your goal. So look at all of your goals and decide which one you're going to hyper focus on right now. I find it easiest for myself to focus on one thing at a time versus 20 things at a time because that's like an hour a day of visualizations and I don't have time for that. So pick one goal. Maybe, and a lot of your goals probably, fit together somehow. Like if you achieved this goal, that means you also achieved this goal and they probably work together in a puzzle some way. So pick one goal you're going to focus on the month of January and visualize it every single day for 2 minutes, or go on a tangent about it every single day for 2 minutes. And it's really up to you which one's going to work. So I've already explained visualization, but going on a tangent, it's more for the people who love to talk. So this is same thing. You're going to set a timer for 2 minutes and you're going to pretend that you were either on a talk show or you're telling a friend or you're calling your mom and you're sharing with them how you hit your goal and how easy it was and how much fun it was, and just talking to them. Like seriously, imagine you're like on Jimmy Fallon and you're sharing how you came to fame and how you hit your goal and blah 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 blah, and that helps you get into the energy of it because you start thinking and telling yourself it's so easy, it was so fun. So for example, let's say I'll do one for myself because it'll be easy. Let's say I had the goal to make $100,000 next year. I'm going to pretend that it's a year from now and it's New Year's Eve and I am writing a post, let's say, about how this was my best year ever in business, and it was so easy and it was so fun, and I just could not believe how easily it all came together. Literally, I had one inspired idea and ran with it, and I can't believe how quickly it took off. I can't believe how easy it was. It felt like a breath of fresh air. It was so much fun to do along the way, and I stepped into my purpose, and I get to do this every single day now, and it gets to be so much fun. And people can't even believe how quickly success came to me when I came up with this one idea. And doors opened left and right, and all I had to do was believe. All I had to do was trust that it's coming my way. All I had to do was relax and receive. That's a positivity tangent, okay? So you could, like I said, you could visualize every single day, or you could do this positivity tangent where you pretend you're on a talk show and share how easy and fun and simple it was to reach your goals. And that takes me into your next journal prompt. So your first journal prompt was, what habits, limiting beliefs, doubts, etc. do you need to release in 2020? What are your big goals? A really great question along with that one is, it would be really cool if, and you just write down everything you would love to occur in 2021. And then this journal prompt I'm giving you right now is, how can I make this occur easier and faster than I even could imagine? How could it occur easier and faster than I could even imagine? This is a journal prompt from my course, Elevate Your Income, which is all about having more fun in your business, because I always say you're most successful when you're having fun. And that's true for everything, not business. But ask yourself, how to achieve this easier? How can I make it more fun? An example of this is when I was actually creating my course, Elevate Yourself and Income. I knew I wanted to create a course, but I didn't want to have to create a website for it. I didn't want to have to make a huge marketing launch thing. I wanted it to be easy and fun. I started asking myself, well, what's the most fun thing that I do in my business? And I was like, I love going live. I love doing live calls. I love doing live trainings. And I also love using Facebook groups because they're super user friendly and they're simple, and I can go live in the Facebook group and it's done. And then I was like, okay, perfect. That's going to be my course. Instead of creating this whole membership area, instead of making it overcomplicated, I kept it fun and simple. I went live for 7 days, or I think maybe it was 6 days. I went live, I'm kicking my tripod. I went live for 6 days inside of this Facebook group. I had people pay me through PayPal. I sent them a link to the Facebook group. I got access to all of these tricks and prompts and everything else. And it was so fun and easy. And I had one of my most successful launches this year because I simply said, I'm not going to make this complicated. I'm not going to do what everyone says you should do. I'm going to do whatever my intuition says. So ask yourself, how can I make this more fun? How can I make this more simple? How can I do this easier? How can I bring this into my reality faster? Because the truth is, the struggle is not required. And a lot of the time, we tell ourselves, well, she did it this way, or the gurus say you do it this way, or the science says this. And really, it's whatever you believe. It's whatever you believe. If you believe that what you are doing works for you, it will work for you. That's literally the most important concept I can ever teach you. And unfortunately, words don't teach, only experience does. So you're going to have to test this out for yourself. But if you believe that you can hit your goal by doing it this way, you will. It's all about what you can get your energy behind. And same thing with your goals. If you believe that you are going to hit your goals, they will occur. The problem is, though, we grew up in a society where capitalism is really popular, so we tell ourselves you can only achieve big things if you work really, really, really hard, which simply isn't the case, right? If people's income were based on work, my girlfriend would be a millionaire. And I can tell you we're not. She's a nurse, right? And the people who are billionaires are definitely not working in proportion to how much they earn. So hard work is not really the answer, is that you believe you have to do these things in order to achieve your goals. Well, why don't we fast track that and just believe that you get to achieve your goals simply because you can? And that kind of takes me into my last tip I have for you when it looks like the goal isn't going to happen, or maybe you're still having some negative thoughts about things that happened in 2020, or you feel like a failure. I want to remind you of a few things. Number one, you cannot fail if you do not quit. That was the mantra I gave to my coaches yesterday. You cannot fail if you do not quit. And Amanda Francis always says it this way. It's not faith until it looks like it's not going to happen. right? It's always that moment of doubt. It's always darkest before the dawn, as some would say, before your goal comes into manifestation. And it's not the universe or God or anything testing you. It's just simply how it goes. And we need to have faith that even if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, it's going to occur for us, right? And I know how hard it is to keep the faith in the last hour. I think I have a whole coffee chat on how to keep confident while manifesting. It should be on the YouTube playlist somewhere. So there's a bunch of tips there if you're like struggling, like, oh my God, it's not gonna happen, Tara. There's a whole video for that for you. But I want you to remember that there's no such thing as failure. It's simply a lesson, right? All of these obstacles are just detours in the right direction. And I'm sure you can look back in your life at different situations where you didn't hit the goal, you didn't get the promotion, the relationship didn't work out, shit hit the fan in a sense. And then a few months later, it all makes sense. And you're like, oh my God, thank goodness I didn't end up with that person. Or thank goodness I didn't get that job promotion. It's all occurring for your highest good. And literally everything I said in the past 5 minutes are just affirmations to freaking throw out there every single day. Basically, I just repeated everything I tell myself. I'm freaking out about a goal that's not happening, or I feel like I'm a failure, or like something isn't working correctly. Everything is just leading you towards your highest good. And like I said, if you need proof of this, go back and look at your life. How many times did the relationship not work and then you found the one right after that? That was my situation. I literally was depressed in therapy because I thought I lost the love of my life. And then 3 weeks later, I met Sasha, and I am so grateful every day that relationship didn't work out. Same thing with my college degree. I was so set on becoming a dietitian. And then I was like, oh, I actually don't want to work in a hospital. And now here I am 3 years later with my dream job, hanging out on a Tuesday morning, sipping coffee and talking about manifestation. I could not imagine a better life. But back then it seemed like it was such an obstacle and I was never going to get through it. And here we are today. So look back in your life of all the times you had failures and obstacles and all these things holding you down, and look at how they became your highest good. And know that whatever you are going through right now, whatever you are going to go through in 2021 is working out for your highest good. It's always there's something better. And I'll leave that for our goal setting workshop. It is always there's something better. So if you want to achieve the goals on the list that you've done before, that means something's coming your way. If you don't achieve these goals, that's okay. Something is coming your way. It is always working out for your highest good. And you can relax and be patient and surrender so much easier when you believe that it's occurring for your best interest. When you believe that it's always this or something better. So your homework for this workshop is the first thing we did at the very beginning of this. And by the way, if you're just hopping on now and you're like, oh no, I missed it, if you DM me your email, I will send you the replay of this so you have it forever and you can go back through it. But first things first, you're gonna write down all of your limiting beliefs, all of your doubts, all of the habits, everything you wanna leave in 2020. You're gonna write it down on a piece of paper. And then tonight under the full moon, or whatever day you do this, it's most potent under the full moon, and I love myself some astrology, but any day will work. Burn it over a candle safely outside in the sink somewhere where you're not going to set off the fire alarms. Burn it over a candle, and as you are burning all of the things you're releasing in 2020, visualize them going into the fire and being burned and being released, or imagine them leaving your body and a white light shining over you and it all releasing while this is burning. It'll probably take 2 or 3 minutes to burn. Perfect amount of time to meditate and visualize that. Thing number 2, you're going to get another piece of paper. You're going to write down all of your goals. At the top of it, write big goals for 2020. And remember, the how is not your issue. Don't start worrying about if it's possible. If it comes to your mind, it's already out there in the vortex. It's already occurring in the spiritual realm. It is coming to you. Write it down, whatever comes up. Another really great journal prompt for this is, it would be really cool if. It would be really cool if blah, 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 blah occurred in 2021. And now that you have all of these beautiful goals written out, I want you to ask yourself, how can I make this even easier, even more fun, even more simple this year? And stop listening to what everyone says you should do and how it's supposed to go and all the gurus and the scientists. Listen to your intuition. How can I make this more fun? How can I make this even with flow? How can I make this even easier? And then Now that you have all of these goals written out and you're no longer listening to what everyone else says, you're listening to your intuition, I want you to spend 2 minutes a day either visualizing these goals occurring or going on a positivity tangent about these goals occurring. Either one will work. It's all about getting into the feeling of your goals are already here. And another really great little side tip that I'm going to throw in here is when you look at your goals, and maybe you just have this blanket goal of I want to be my best self, and you're visualizing the best version of you, start looking at the habits that she has and start doing them now. So if your best self does yoga every single day, start adding 5 minutes of yoga into your day. It's going to help you get into that feeling of you already achieving your goal. So start looking at, when you're visualizing, you may have different pictures come through your mind and different thoughts come through your mind. Find ways to incorporate that into your day now. That's literally what we're doing in the 30-day highest self challenge. I'm basically taking all of my clients for the next month through all of these steps in detail and giving them tips every single day, like the ones I gave in here, to help them become their highest self through a few practical things like the tips I shared, but a lot of the energetic and spiritual side of it. And then lastly, the last piece of homework after you've done your journaling and your visualization or your tangent, your last piece of homework is to come up with a few affirmations. I've said a ton on this call, such as I'm most successful when I'm having fun, it's always this or something better, it's always occurring for my highest good. Those three, those are probably my go-to in life. I probably say them 100 times a day. Like if I had $1 for every time I said those affirmations, I would be a millionaire by now. Come up with a few affirmations that feel empowering to you and either write them on a sticky note, put them on your desk, or make it a reminder in your phone, or if you're a meditator, while you breathe in, say one affirmation, when you exhale, say a different one. There's a million ways to incorporate affirmations into your day, but it's just little reminders that you are on the right path and you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and it's all occurring for you. So I hope this was helpful. Again, if you want the replay of this, just send me a DM with your email. I will get it out to everybody probably in the next few hours, and you can do this tonight under the full moon, or you can do this workshop on New Year's Eve if you want. Whatever it works for you, whenever you feel called, whenever you find this is the perfect timing. So take some time with it, light a candle, get out your journal, get clear on what you want for the new year. And if you want to share your goals with somebody, feel free to send me a DM or an email. I'll be your little accountability buddy, and I'll message you New Year's Eve 2021 asking you, how did you hit your goals? How did it go? How was the most crazy year of your life? And if you want more accountability and more one-on-one attention, I do have one-on-one coaching spots open, as well as the 30-day highest self challenge starting on January 4th, 2021. And like I said, there will be daily tips like this, workouts, meditations, journal prompts, literally all of the goods of the past 3 years of being on my own fitness and self-help and manifestation journey. All of that will be inside of the 30-day highest self challenge, and all of the details are on my website. So go check that out. And again, if you want the replay, send me an email, and I will see you next Tuesday. I'll see you next year, actually. I will see you next year for a coffee chat. And if you ever have a recommendation for what you want to hear, send me a DM. I've said that a lot today. It's going to turn into a drinking game. Every time Tara says, send me a DM, we're going to take a shot. Anyways, have a beautiful freaking week. I love you, and go kick some ass.